under the vast silver moon of the open frontier, where the night wind carried the lonely whistle of distant canyons and the dying embers of a campfire glowed like fading memories. Cowboy Cole Rowan tightened the strap on his saddle, unaware that destiny was riding toward him at a slow, steady trot, a rhythm that sent a shiver crawling up his spine long before he understood why. Because just as he lifted his head, the sound of hooves approaching broke the silence, not rushed, not hesitant, but calm, deliberate, and deeply familiar. And before he could speak, a soft yet unshakably strong voice drifted through the darkness. "Do you remember me, cowboy?" Cole froze, his breath catching as though the whole desert paused to listen. And when he turned toward the voice, the moon carved out the silhouette of a woman whose presence felt like an old prayer finally answered. She stepped forward, her long braids glistening like black rivers in the pale night, and her eyes carrying the same fierce innocence he remembered from years ago when she was just a lost Apache child he had found trembling behind a fallen mesquite tree after raiders swept through her homeland. He had carried her in his arms for miles, whispering that she was safe, shielding her from the storm, giving her water, hope, and a chance to live. Now she stood tall, graceful, no longer a frightened girl, but a woman shaped by the mountains and winds of the Apache nation. And when the firelight touched her face, she whispered, steady as a sunrise, "I'm the Apache girl you saved years ago, and I've come to marry you." The words struck Cole with a force gentler than thunder, but deeper than grief, because they awakened memories he never spoke of, the nights he wondered where she was, if she survived, if she remembered him, if she grew strong. Emotion rose in his chest like a tide he couldn't fight, and though he tried to speak, nothing but a warm ache filled his throat as she took another step. Her voice trembling yet brave. "My elders said a life saved must be honored, and my heart said the man who saved me is the man my soul belongs to." Cole's eyes softened as the memory of her small hand, clutching his years ago, flashed through him like lightning across midnight plains, and he realized that fate was not offering him a burden, but a blessing. He placed his hat against his chest, the fire flickering between them like the heartbeat of the earth itself, and whispered, "You don't owe me anything." Barren sunfire, but she shook her head with a quiet smile, the kind that carried the strength of mountains. "I'm not here because I owe you," she said. "I'm here because my heart found its way back." For a moment, the world melted into silence, the kind of silence heavy with meaning, and the desert wind wrapped around them, almost protective. Cole stepped forward, gently lifting her chin so their eyes met. And in that gaze, he saw not a girl from his past, but a woman brought to him by destiny. "If you came here for the truth," he said softly, "then hear mine. I never forgot you. Not a single day." Her breath trembled as she reached out and placed her palm over his heartbeat, and the warmth of her touch felt like the sun rising after a lifetime of cold. The stars above shimmered like witnesses to a promise unfolding. And Cole, for the first time in years, allowed hope to settle into the empty places of his soul. "Then let our lives begin," she whispered. And with that, the long-lost bond between a cowboy and the Apache girl he once saved became something stronger, something sacred. The two of them rode toward the horizon together, side by side, their silhouettes merging with the golden dawn as peace finally found them. Cole glanced her way with a soft smile as the morning light warmed the earth, knowing deep inside that he wasn't just riding into another day, he was riding into the life destiny had been saving for him all along. And as they disappeared into the vast open plains, the frontier wind carried their laughter like a blessing written across the sky forever, ending their story exactly where new beginnings are born.